Welcome to the Impactful Entrepreneur Show with Adrienne Hill, a place for online business industry expertise and thought leadership, where you can build the skills, structure, and systems you need to thrive in business and have a lasting impact in your industry. Let's do this. Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Today, we are here with the lovely Catharine O'Leary. I am so excited because if you want to know the best questions that attract the best clients, Catharine, the quiz queen, can definitely help you out. She's here to showcase a lead generation system that's easy, fun, and delivers results immediately. I mean, who doesn't love a little bit of that immediate gratification? Am I right? She is the quiz queen, spending the last 25 years developing consumer insights for the top international corporations. But now she's helping entrepreneurs like you guys to create quizzes that attract the best clients by asking the best questions. So if you have just one click to grab your ideal clients, then this information is for you. We cannot wait to dig in. Quizzes are hot, quizzes are popular, and quizzes are fun. So let's dig in. Welcome, Catharine. I'm so excited to talk quizzes with you.
I can talk quizzes all day long. So so this is great, Adrienne. I love it. I love an audience. So now I'm not just talking with myself. That's awesome.
Yeah, for sure. Well, now I know everyone in the audience is super interested with quizzes, surveys, any kind of like find your avatar, find out which flavor are you is so hot. But before we jump into the goodness, to some people in our audience, they might be meeting you for the first time. So do you want to tell us just a little bit about you and your entrepreneurial story and like, how did you become the quiz queen? Tell us all about that.
Yeah, so I did not grow up wanting to be the quiz queen. I wanted to be the Wolf of Wall Street. That was way cooler. So I went to school. I became an economist, and then started in corporate, and was always in that market research and consumer insights, field. For the past 30 years. In fact, when I told my father what I did, he kind of sighed, big sigh, kind of shook his head. And then this Irish brogue just said, "Oh, Jesus, Mary and Joseph, Catherine, what the hell is that? Like, could you make it more complicated?" I'm like, that it's not complicated. All consumer insights is a translation of asking consumers what they want, they need, and what they're challenged with, and translating that into corporates, being products, services, marketing campaigns, sales conversations. So it's really, a fancy way of saying translator. When I left corporate because the 3-hour commute was just getting to me and it needed to be done, I would, spent 30 years in corporate, worked with some of the biggest brands out there, including Apple and Pepsi, which was awesome. But when I started my own entrepreneurial journey, had a hard time figuring out how consumer insights was going to, translate into a business. So I started with network marketing, which was fantastic. It was personal development courses. They were really good. The problem was my lead generation was terrible. I was miserable. I was talking to all the wrong people all the time. I was so frustrated. I was throwing hand over fist money at Facebook, hoping that if the net is bigger, maybe I'll catch one fish. I was doing all the one-on-one calls. I don't know if anyone else has done that, the one-on-one calls with anyone who will talk to you, which isn't really a good, strategy for actually getting any cash in the bank. And then Google's SEO. I don't know, anyone baffled and beat? Just no. I was done. And I started thinking that 3-hour commute might not be so bad. Maybe I can do audiobooks, right? No, I didn't want to do that. There had to be a way. People are making money doing this. There had to be a way to attract the best clients in a way that, didn't feel like salesy or smarmy or weird or slipping into somebody's DMs or something like that. So yeah, I went on a quest and I found quizzes, and it was one of those, we were talking earlier, Adrienne, it was one of those eureka moments where it's like, oh, this is how I can use my experience in my own business. This is cool.
Yeah. So it totally just made sense that as someone who's already skilled in gathering market research and insights and information, the online business version of that is quizzes.
Well, yes, and it took a little while to get there. And I think the stumbling block. So there's two stumbling blocks. One was corporate mindset to entrepreneurial mindset, totally different. So that takes a little while to kind of get into, into your space on, if you will. The second one was, I mean, corporations spend 50,000 up to upwards of $2-3 million on a study. And I was stuck in that mode where it had to be that complicated. And, as my father said, why did you make it so complicated? And I was stuck in that mode where it had to be so expensive and so complicated that it was outside of the reach of most entrepreneurs. So finding quizzes and quiz funnels, I realized that I could offer support and tools and techniques to get those best clients into your funnel so you're not wasting your time and you're not wasting your money on the wrong people. Release them. They're for somebody else. God bless and good luck. That's lovely. But, being able to get up every morning and know that you're talking to the best clients, know that you're going to be serving, your zone of genius and not chasing a bunch of people. That's where the click kind of happened, if you will.
Yeah. Which totally makes sense. Now, I know for a lot of people watching, they're thinking, okay, like I've heard of quizzes, like I get that, but I already have a PDF download. I already have like a mini course. I already have like some video trainings. Like I have a bunch of lead magnets already. So what makes a quiz different? Like, why is a quiz so worth the time of building out as compared to some of these other lead magnets?
Yeah, and some of those other lead magnets are great. The challenges right now that I think everyone is facing is that, as more people get online, there's more noise, there's more people kind of offering, this free, this masterclass, this downloadable. Right now, only 20% of downloadables are actually opened after they're downloaded. So you gotta wonder a little bit who's on your list. Like, are they really your ideal clients? They haven't read your stuff. So you haven't built that know, like, and trust factor. And what a quiz does is by, getting them to take that 60 seconds, no more, to take a couple of questions that you have spent the time up front to ensure that it is a journey that they're going to enjoy. They're going to learn something out of. You're going to build your know, like, and trust factor by the way that you phrase the questions, the way that you put your personality into it. And then you get to invite them at the end of the quiz to your next step, whatever that is. So not only do they get the insight, the downloadable, if you will, immediately, they also get it as an email. So you've got two places where they get it. They get it right on the end of the quiz, and they get it through an email, but they've also got an invitation to your webinar, your one-on-one call, your sales page, whatever that happens to be at the time. So it's kind of I call it a lead magnet on steroids.
Yeah.
It does a lot of different things all within 60 seconds, all within that one click.
So are you saying, like, so I totally get, like, they get to the end of the quiz, they get to see their result, which there's always a sense of satisfaction. Like, curiosity gets the best of us. We all love taking a good quiz. Like, I get that. Of course, it triggers an email with their results on the back end. So are you saying, depending on how they answer the quiz questions, it would direct them to the next resource, and it might be different? One person might see, like, hey, this masterclass is perfect for you. A different person might see, hey, grab my download.
100%. Yep. You can do it like that. You can also do it where everyone gets the same offer. So if you're a business coach, for example, you might cover a bunch of things in modules. You might cover mindset, systems, and time management, let's just say. And anyone looking for your services might be looking for all three, but likely they have one that's their priority. And within the quiz, you might actually ask them, hey, what are you struggling with most? Is it mindset? Is it time management? Or is it systems? So when they go to the end of the quiz and they get their insights talk about mindset, or their insights talk about systems, or their insights talk about time management, depending on what they're struggling with. Everything goes to the same offer. You're still having the exact same coaching offer, but you've put the lens on the priority that is for them. So that's one way to do it. The other way is, as you said, maybe you've got a star, an emerging superstar, right? That needs maybe a little bit more support. So maybe it's more of a call, or or maybe even your your $97 course or something to get them started, so they're warmed up for your signature course.
Yeah.
And maybe the experienced person actually gets a call with you, and it's a good, half hour or 45 minute. Okay, let's, you've done all these steps, let's go to the next step. So
Yeah.
it's very flexible, and you can have fun with it. I mean, it's your business, your personality, you're building yourself up to the next step, or for them to take the next step with you. So you can have a lot of fun with it.
Yeah. So I'm hearing it's far more customizable than your average lead magnet. So the person taking the quiz is going to feel like they're getting a customized response versus just the same download that everyone gets, basically.
Yeah, even if they get the same offer, they're going to be feeling like they've gotten customized treatment because of the way that you have generated. So you always start with the offer in mind before you start your quiz, and then you reverse engineer it. So quizzes are taken from front to back, but they're created from back to front.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So the location that they're going to hit. And the thing is that as you take them through that journey of where they're currently at, what they're struggling with, where they want to go, boom, here's like the next best thing. Talk to me further for, information. You look like a mind reader. You look like you're the amazing Kreskin. Like you're blowing their socks off, because it's like, oh my gosh, she's in my head. Like, how did that happen?
Yeah.
And it's all because you've actually designed it that way. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy for them to end up in the areas that you've predestined them to be in. So it's a lot of fun to see people go through and go, oh my God, how did you know that? And it's like, well, you kind of told me and I kind of designed it that way. So
right. And so it works really well. And I know from firsthand experience, if someone feels like you understand them so well, you're in their head, they immediately jump to, well, if they understand me that well, they're going to be able to help me really
exactly. They have the solution to the problem that I'm trying to solve. And what you do is the insights, so that you give them a few little nuggets, right? If they're trying to climb Mount Everest, you get them to base camp 1 with the free insights. That's your, quote unquote downloadable. But then the power is in the invite to next. So if you want to go all the way to the top of Everest and you want a guide to get you there, then, this is where we need to have a conversation about the course, the masterclass, the webinar,
whatever that next step is. Yeah.
Whatever that next step. And it could be straight to a product page. It could be, if you're a network marketer and you've got maybe skincare products that you want to send people to right away. Like, hey, you're worried about the eyes, or you're worried about non-allergenic, or anything like that. You could actually send them straight to a product page with suggestions.
Yeah. So speaking of which, I mean, I'm assuming quizzes, it sounds like it works for network marketing. It would work for coaches, course creators, really kind of anything where you have a product, a service to offer, something that you can connect them with digitally. This works.
Or even bricks and mortar, if you want to bring in people into your coffee house. You can say, well, are you coffee or tea? Or like, are you a chocolate mocha skim milk? Or you can have a lot of fun with that.
Right.
But
I suppose depending on their answers, you could say, hey, we happen to be running a special on lattes this week, and you're a latte girl. Exactly. Get on in here.
And then you're building your list in a way that is tagged or segmented, so that you can run those promotions after the fact, whether it's bricks and mortar or online. You can capture that information, so that going down further, if you're a coach that's also a speaker, well, okay, you're primarily a coach, but here's an offer from my partner, my JV affiliate, about speaking on stage. And I know you're a speaker, so I thought this would be of interest to you.
So with every question in the quiz, you could tag them with their answer, so you can send them more detailed communications later.
If you wanted to, yes. Yeah,
this is really interesting. So there's so many interesting options that open up when you go down the rabbit hole of quizzes. Yes. So this is fun for me. So, one of the things you talked about, when someone grabs your average lead magnet, roughly, like, they all sign up for it. It's all triggered to them via email, but only 20% of people ever open it. Do you know the average numbers on, for people who take a quiz, that the percentage of people who actually complete the quiz and see their end result?
So for somebody that hits the quiz and goes on, a rough benchmark is about 50%, because some people will hit it and then be like, you know what, this isn't for me. That's
Sure.
amazing. That's fantastic,
Because
because
you
that means
want
that
those people out.
you want those people out. You don't want those people in your close friends pile, right?
Mhm.
And then, as you go through, you're gonna get anywhere from 50 to 90% of people actually opting in to get their results. They don't get any results unless they actually give you their email.
Mhm.
Right. So they go through this whole process. They're getting excited. You're getting to know them. They're getting to know you. They hit the, now give me your email. They know they're going to get something,
Yeah.
they know that they're going to get on your list. That's fine. Your best
Mhm.
clients want to be on your list. So
Yeah.
that's fine. And then it's an immediate result, right? So
Mhm.
they immediately get, oh, you need to be focused on mindset. And
Yeah.
here's a couple of things that you need to do.
Yeah.
So the actual information and the getting to know you and building your know, like, and trust, that's 100%, as if people are taking the quiz questions, right? And
Mhm.
then getting their opt-in can go anywhere from 50 to 90% or 100%. I mean, it really depends on
Yeah.
how much fun you're putting into it, and how much if you're really hitting the problem that they want to solve, you're going to see better results.
Mhm. So potentially a much higher conversion rate of people actually interacting with your content after they've taken the quiz, as opposed to just downloading something and then never looking in their email to see if it works.
Yeah, I mean, to give you kind of some other numbers, I've had clients that have 3 times their return on advertising spend. So a lead that used to cost them $3 now only costs them $1. So you can do 3 times the amount with the same amount of money.
Yeah.
Your conversion rates will go up probably double, if not triples, because what you're doing is you're shortening the time frame of getting to know you, so you don't have to have a month of email nurture sequence emails going out, because you've done all that in like kind of 60 seconds, and you've invited them to the webinar or whatever that is next.
Mhm.
So your conversion rates are going to go up, and you're just going to get better quality people.
Yeah.
So like, I would rather have 100 people that are like bang on my target audience, my best clients, than 1,000 people and try to find the 100.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly. Because then you're looking for a needle in a haystack, and
Yeah.
it's like, where do I start? And so and that process of warming them up is faster, because by the end of the quiz, they already feel like you're in their head.
Yep. And they're ready to take the next step. And if they're not, that's okay. You've got them in your email list, and you can still nurture them. So
Yeah.
it's a win-win in that sense. Like, if they don't want to, go to the webinar right now, that's fine. That's great.
Mhm.
You've got a system in place to keep them engaged. And maybe they, they're good for a promotion. I mean, Black Friday is coming up. Maybe it's the time for a bonus deal or something like that. So,
Yeah.
but you've got them in your system. You're not relying on targeting that is kind of not working anymore with some of the platforms.
Yeah. And so have you found that these quizzes work well both with organic traffic and paid traffic? You did talk about ads getting a bigger return. Does it work organically as well, like both sides, or?
Everyone loves to take a quiz,
Yeah.
right? So the more that you can, get it out there, and the more that you have fun with it, the more that they're going to have fun with it. So
Mhm.
like, play it up in your organic leads. Like, hey, have you taken my quiz? Or, go down the street and have your stylist take it. And do a live, oh, my stylist taking my quiz. Like, what's your quiz? What's your quiz type? What's your superpower? What's your
Yeah.
what color is your cape?
Yeah.
Whatever that looks like. So you can have a lot of fun with organic, as long as like, it's going back to the quiz. What I also like about quizzes is that they can live, like, the platform is on its own, so it's not like a Facebook platform or an Insta. Like, it doesn't only work with one thing, it works with anywhere a link works.
Mhm.
Your quiz can work. So
Yeah.
you can put it on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, your emails, your affiliates can use it, your partners can use it. So
Mhm.
it becomes a lead magnet that is more than just a lead magnet. It's an engagement. It's warming people up to that conversation. It's like your coffee conversation, just without the coffee.
Yeah, absolutely. So it sounds like there's a lot of potential, not only for engagement, but for customization, and then for conversions on the back end as well.
And follow up,
And
right?
follow up.
So you can start I mean, I had one client that, she put her buckets together. So she put her, mindset, systems and time management buckets together. And
Mhm.
she thought that so she had 4 of them, and she thought that the one was only 10% of her client base. It turned out to be 50%. And she realized that she didn't have a product for them. So she created a product for them, and was a better able to serve her audience that she was actually underserving. So there's once you get into I'm a data geek, obviously. So once I get into the data side of things, I can kind of, go quite nuts. But that's the power of it as well. It's not just the upfront power, it's the back end power of actually being able to serve better.
Yeah. Yeah. That's fascinating. Of like the insights it gives you might be surprised, like with your client, it was the exact opposite of what she expected.
Yeah. Yeah. And she realized
So
that she didn't have something for them because she thought
yeah.
they weren't in her, like they were kind of the more relaxed version of video people, and she just thought that she wasn't attracting them. She thought that they weren't actually in her best client pool, and she found out that they were. And as
Turns
soon
out
as
they
she
were
offered
there
them a
all
product,
along. Yeah.
yeah, and as soon as she offered them a product, they were like, "Oh, thank God! Like now it's not so hyper and in your face. This is kind of more laid back, and it's brilliant." And she was able to serve them.
That's amazing. That's what a great example of how a quiz can come together. Now, um, it's interesting. I could see this being used across multiple different industries in different ways,
Mhm.
and giving you some really smart insights on the back end of like what to email those people then based on how they answer the
Yes.
questions.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, and it gives you clarity. It grounds the business in, this is what I do, this is who I
Mhm.
serve. You got to get very clear on your offer and your target audience. You don't want everyone in your quiz. You really want only your best clients. So it gets you super focused, and the business super focused on making sure that you are attracting the right people, and then it just flows from there. So in 6 months from now or a year from now, your marketing is on autopilot. It's running 365. It's systemized, right? And now you can work on your zone of genius. You can work on your business instead of in your business,
Mhm.
which is what we all strive to do.
Yeah, exactly. I love that. So we've already talked about some of the things that are key in helping a quiz convert, right? Of like
Mhm.
starting with the end in mind, reverse engineering it, thinking about the experience of the person. What are some of the top mistakes you see people make when they first start playing with quizzes? And
I think one of the mistakes I think is, again, really narrowing down that problem, solve that, the ideal, like what's your best clients, what's keeping them up at night? And
mm,
also phrase it like, don't get too cute, don't get too markety. What are the words that they use? Because that's what they're going to be drawn to, right? We have goldfish have an attention span of 8 seconds. Our attention span is 7 seconds. So you don't have a lot of time to stop and scroll,
yeah,
right? So you're going to have to hit them with their words and their problem. So getting really clear on that, and then making sure that you have you're the GPS, right? You've got the offer, you've got the end in mind, you've got their start point, but now you got to get them in between those, and you got to bridge that gap in a way that makes sense. Like,
mhm,
don't just throw every question into a survey that, like, don't do the kitchen sink. Treat it like $1 million real estate. If it's not serving a purpose, get rid of the question.
mm,
So like keep it tight. Like, I'm not saying have a 2 question questionnaire. That's not what I'm saying, but don't have a 15 question questionnaire if that's not honestly what you need. Remember, you're
right.
just trying to introduce yourself, trying to get them to see those insights and invite them. You don't have to know everything about them to get them to say your high ticket offer. That's not the purpose of a lead generation quiz, at
Right.
least.
It's just to
Yeah.
get them in as a lead and let them feel like you're in their mind, basically.
So making sure that you got those questions, like, where are you now, what's what are you struggling with, where do you want to be, like,
Mhm,
questions that make sense to get them from problem to I have insights, this is what you can do, to let's talk more.
mhm,
So don't just throw everything from what's your dog's name to what's your favorite ice cream to what's the weather outside, and then all of a sudden you have a financial plan. That drives people bonkers because you're
yeah,
not in their mind. Then you're just,
asking
now
random
it's
questions.
just random.
Yeah.
And that I mean, actually, that does you more damage than good. Like, don't do a quiz in that case, because you're now going to lose a potential client, because now
Mhm.
you've just like wasted their time and made them mad because they really thought that they were going to get something cool.
Yeah, for sure. So absolutely. So every single question has to have solve a very specific, like have a specific purpose in your quiz
Yeah.
funnel.
Yeah, and it
And
has to lead to the next question. It can't just be like random, and like again, it's that GPS, like turn left here, turn right here. Like what, like where, like what journey are you trying to get them to explore? Because it really should be a bit of a discovery for for your client. Like, oh, what is the answer to that? Oh, I see why you asked that. I see why you asked that. Oh, okay, yeah, yeah. Oh, this is where I want to go. Oh, you can help me? Oh, that's brilliant. Wow, you're in my head and you gave me something really cool that I can do right away. And you want to talk to me more? Of course I want to talk to you more.
yes, yes, that's wicked smart. And already, I mean, a few of these examples of how it worked for your clients to, do you have any other top examples that come to mind of like someone implementing quizzes for the first time? How like shifts that they experienced as a result of bringing quizzes into their business?
Yeah, so I have one client that it was kind of a surprise because they were doing a quiz, and it was lead generation quiz. It was off of Summit traffic, so coaches out there that are speaking or networking. A quiz is a really good way to have something easy to drop in the chat
Mhm.
for people to do. But this one client was selling a course, and she was trying to get webinar traffic to a 995 course, and she ended up selling more of her done for you $5,000 packages off of the end. In 2 weeks she had a $17,000 weeks in the first 2 weeks of the launch. And they were off of done for you. She was sending people to a one-on-one call expecting to talk to them about the 995 course, ended up talking to them about done for you.
Oh, because that's what they were looking for. That's what they were
That's
interested
it
in.
happened to be what they were looking for. So,
Ah,
but again, the power of the best clients, like, yes, I want this. Yeah, the course is great, but I don't want to do it myself. Okay, great. There's another option.
yeah, there's a done for you service, and they
Yeah.
were ready and happy to pay for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. So it really does truly pick out the highest quality leads. Like it's the best ideal clients who are usually flowing through, especially if they get to the point where they're booking a call, it sounds like.
Yeah, and I don't usually suggest a call at the end of a quiz because you could get inundated with calls. If you're just starting out, it might be the way to go. But for cold traffic kind of lead generation, or people that are just getting to know you, I mean, brilliant for like a $20 book. So if you have a book funnel, or if you want a book funnel, like quizzes are great for that. Or
Mhm.
your $97 course, or maybe your 199 course. After that, it's great to invite to a webinar so they can learn about your 997 course, or your $2,000 course or whatever.
Mhm.
um but the other thing is that you might have a webinar going this month but not for the next 3 months. So where do you send them for the next 3 months? You
Right.
can change that. So you can change the URL at the back end and just say, okay, you know what, now that stops, so now we're just going to send people to maybe an evergreen video,
Mhm.
or a masterclass that you always have, or
Yeah.
it lives a long time. It lives a lot longer than your typical PDF download, I think.
Yeah. Which absolutely makes sense
Yeah.
completely. Very fun. So I'm sure there are people in the audience who are realizing like quizzes are what I've been missing. And I really want to set one up, especially when it works so broadly across so many types of businesses and it can get you these super targeted ideal clients. So I know you have a free gift that will help the audience to get started with learning how to incorporate quizzes. And it's a quiz for them to experience themselves. Is that right? Do you want to tell us about it?
Yeah. So, I mean, one thing that I'm asked all the time is like, what quiz is best for my business? So, I created a quiz called "What's the best quiz for my biz?" And you can go and do that at quizformybiz.com.
Perfect. And there'll be a
And
button below
yeah,
above somewhere nearby this video. There'll be a button that says get the quiz.
yeah,
You can also click
and
that too. Yeah.
and so you can go through, that gives you a good starting point of kind of where your business is at, and where a quiz might be able to plug in, and why it would be a good marketing strategy for you. And then it also, invites you to the next step.
Yeah. So not only are you going to learn about which quiz would be best for your business type, you get to experience the quiz to see how it feels and kind of like experience both sides at the same time.
Exactly.
So really kind of get your creative wheels turning on like, ooh, how might I do this for my business, right? So super helpful to have that. Thanks for joining us for this episode of the Impactful Entrepreneur Show. If you found amazing value here, like, subscribe, and leave us a review to help other people find the high value content that we share, and find us on social media so we can continue the conversation. See you in the next episode.